weird. Like this is not really happening. Like it's some kind of a dream. Oh, it's not a dream. All right, Tuesday, the 10th day of May, 2022. Welcome. It is now 11 after the hour of 6. We'll start over here, kind of, and hopefully get off on a better foot than we've already gotten off on. Only takes one screw up to send me flailing down the hill. Again, welcome to a Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great show in store for you. I think all of our great cast of characters who are regulars will be here today, including Bob Lazari, Tony D, Bruce Flax, Liz Karanowitz. We'll see a wide open 9 o'clock hour, so we'll give you plenty of opportunity to call. See, I'm hearing background noise. You hear that? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Yeah, we got some background stuff out. I don't know what it is. Anyway, hopefully you're not hearing it out there, but who knows? I think everything is right here. All right, well, we'll just forge forward and try to make the best of it. So, again, we have a lot to get to today, and we'll start with what obviously is the most serious issue that is plaguing America at the current moment, which, again, is inflation and gas prices, which are skyrocketing. If you were listening to the news, gas going up yet again. You can see it at the pumps. I put gas in my car yesterday, and it was at least 15 cents higher than it was the last time I put gas in. So there's no end in sight to this, and this is a ripple out effect on everything. Every single thing is affected by the price of energy, and this administration, and apparently Democrats don't seem to understand that. So anything that's made with petroleum or oil, or anything that's oil-based, or anything that has to travel on the roads, or anything that is just getting from point A to point B somehow, some way, is doing it using energy, which means the cost of that item is going up, which means you're paying more. Hopefully, you're making more money. Chances are you're not. So you're in a losing situation, a death spiral, if you will. So every day you wake up probably a little bit poorer, and the markets are really reflecting that now, as you're seeing crashes on just about every front. So it's not a pretty time. We're not living in a robust America at this current moment. Nothing is. Well, not that there's anything that they're doing they're trying to fix anything. It seems as though they're trying to dig us deeper into a hole, trying to throw us into a recession. That seems like the plan of this administration. So that's point number one. Point two, it seems like our pro-abortion activists were out in force yesterday outside a Supreme Court justice's home, demonstrating on a lot of different street corners and a lot of different parks, demonstrating. And here was an interesting one. Seems like our activists decided to go into Catholic churches in different parts around the country and ransack and protest and harass some of the people inside of those churches. I found this to be interesting because nowhere across the country, right? Nowhere across the country did any of our left-leaning activists, progressives, bother to go, at least unless somebody saw one that I didn't see. Maybe you did. I didn't see it. None of them bothered to go into a mosque anywhere across the country. No, they wanted to kick down the doors of Catholic churches or set up shop outside the steps. But no mosques were affected. No mosques. Would you like to know how Muslims feel about abortion? Well, actually more liberal than I had imagined. Abortion during the first 40 days after conception is quite flexible in the Muslim religion. However, after the first 120 days, it's believed that the child is given a soul and therefore categorically forbidden to abort unless the mother's life is in jeopardy. Abortion is also allowed if the fetus passes away in the mother's womb. So at 120 days, 4 months, Muslims say no. There'll be no more abortions. Now, I don't know how you feel about the 120-day marker, but clearly if you're an all-out 100% pro-choice person, which it seems like a lot of folks are, you would have an issue with that. So maybe you could, at least for the day, gather your troops together and go demonstrate inside a mosque or outside of a mosque. See if you have the guts and the gumption to do that. Chances are you don't, because that would then be considered politically incorrect to do something like that. And I also found it interesting as I looked at some of the photos across the country, because people were standing holding signs, of course, and one caught my eye. Well, more than one, but a young girl was holding a sign that said, "As a girl, I just hope that I may have as many rights as a guy." That's what the sign said. And I couldn't help but think, for the last, how many years have we been bludgeoned over the head with the fact that there are no sexes and no gender, no pronouns? And now conveniently, because the issue dictates it, conveniently, all of our progressive friends are going out of their way to reestablish the idea that there are women, and women are different than men. So what is it? Is it only when it's convenient for you that the sexes are actually established? Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, it's whatever way you feel that day. So this fluidness, this mobility of gender, and the idea that there even is one, I'm perplexed by that. I'd like somebody to explain it to me. And I don't want to spend the whole day talking about abortion. It's exhausting, right? I've said this to you before. We can, if you want, in the 9 o'clock hour, certainly. We can get back to that. But my one question, this is the only question really that I would like to have answered. There's others, but the main question I'd like to have answered from my very progressive, pro-choice folks out there is, what is the cutoff? What's the cutoff time? I've asked this now 3 days in a row and haven't gotten an answer. That's all I'm asking. What's the cutoff? Clearly, most folks who are pro-choice have no issue with it first trimester. So when we're talking, month 4, 5, 6, is that okay? Month 7, okay? Month 8, okay? A week out before delivery date, is that okay? An hour before delivery date, is that okay? I just want that answer. You've set up shop that pro-choice is essential to your well-being. I'd like to just know, what is the cutoff? For some, I know there is no cutoff. I get that. But the general thought of it, I'd like to know. And by the way, most abortions happen incredibly early in the development of the fetus, the baby. Very early. But I'm just curious as to the philosophy behind it. Because there's a lot of fighting and a lot of angst going on. And what are we talking about for a number? I'd like to know what the number is of real abortions after the date, let's say, for the Muslims, 120 days in. Just my question to you, just a general question. So that's topic number 2. Topic number 3. Oh, man. One of my favorite people. So I'm going to play you some audio here. Chris Murphy sits down with Bret Baier. Now, I think that's pretty solid of Chris Murphy sitting in and across in a studio with Bret Baier. You figure you're going to get asked some pretty difficult questions, and you're not in a safe zone like you would be on MSNBC or CNN. So kudos to him for doing that. But I'm going to play this. About 2 minutes long. Maybe I'll stop and start, but there's a couple cases, a couple things he says where I may be screaming in the background at what he says. So here we go.
Politically, it has echoes of categorizing a whole bunch of people a certain way.
I am very concerned about the sort of very quick, hateful, divisive turn that the Republican Party has taken. This effort in Florida to sort of target gay kids in schools, I just think is mean-spirited and something that I had not seen from the Republican Party when I first started out in politics 20 years ago.
Well, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
To target gay kids in schools, the bill is about not talking about sexual identity from K through third grade. That's not targeting gay kids.
Yes, it is.
They're 6 years old. Oh my God. I gotta stop this for a second here. I'll let me continue. There is nobody. There's nobody with a soul. This is where the Democrats are just pure evil. There's nobody with a soul that would bully a kid because of the way they feel sexually, or if they're confused, or any of that. No adult would ever do that if they have a soul. No, nobody would. And for him to suggest that, in general, and I'll say the Republican Party, but just in general, people that aren't aligned with him, who don't think it's a good idea to teach sexuality to a 5-year-old, somehow they are in the wrong and evil and disgusting and diabolical. That physically makes me angry. Like, you know, sometimes you get angry and you yell and scream and what. This makes me so mad. Like I want to break stuff when he says something like this, because this is so divisive. And the fact that, you know, he started this interview out by talking about the Republicans being divisive. Are you kidding me? This is all manipulated crap and garbage. This whole racism idea it's born from untruths. It is. Is there racism? Yes! We always say this. Of course there is. Is it to the extent that you want to make it out to be so you can move forward with your agenda? No. Not even remotely close. And even some of the smartest people that I know, I have this conversation with, and they don't get it. They say, I don't get it. They don't get it. Because people who have like minds, like most of us, me, we truly do not care about anything. Your physical appearance means nothing. What you choose to identify means nothing. It all boils down to, what kind of a person are you? Are you somebody who would help an old lady across the street, grab a stray dog running around, not so you won't get hit by a car? Run into a burning building, help somebody. Maybe that last one's a little extreme. A lot of folks might not do that, but my point is, are you a good person or not? And there are terrible people that are white. There are terrible people that are straight. And there are just absolute pieces of garbage that are black, Hispanic, white. Has nothing to do with the color of your skin or what sex you identify with. But they use that as a way to divide everybody. And the Republican Party has done a poor job stopping them from doing that. And every single thing that is talked about, debated, when you're looking at it from that 30,000-foot vantage point, and the Democrats immediately turn it into a racial issue. They could be something like vaccines, or it could be anything. And they turn it into another racial issue. It's absurd. And yet the masses buy into it. And we let them do it. All right, let me just let this finish. It's about another minute left.
You. Ranger.
I would like my progressive Democrat friends who are actually hold office or running for office tell me what is the necessity of teaching 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds about sex in general. To me, that's perverse. That's, it's borderline. It's pedophilia. Why would you do that? What's the benefit from that? At age 5 and 6 years old. These are all things that they can find out about. Certainly, they will find out about it in time. Why confuse them at an age when they're easily confused? There's something evil about this. There really is. All right, I'll take a break, come back, and we got a lot to get to today, so stick around. 94.9 News Now and Stimulating Talk.
Behind white horses and ladies